Okay, everybody, I'm testing this might. Okay, so you can see that it's May 17, 2015. Now, this phone right now is an hour ahead of. Right now, we're in daylight savings time in La Jolla, California, which is in San Diego County. Okay, now, that is. Oh, but the date's correct. Right now, it's actually about 12:07 p.m. Okay, now, the phone, its service contract ended before daylight savings time kicked in. That's why it's an hour ahead of schedule. But I'm still using it because of the date, okay? And my tape recorder that's running right now also reflects the actual time and date, showing that it's only about 10 after 12 p.m. on today's date. Now I'm going to use the feature in the tools menu called the voice command, which enables the phone to state the date electronically as a result of the phone being a little bit blurry visually. So the phone is now going to state the date electronically and the time.
Say a command. May 17th, Sunday, 1:04 p.m. Say a command.
Okay, so remember, the time is an hour off. It's only about 12:10 p.m. right now on today's date, May 17, 2015. Now, this is a prediction video, and it's an informative video. But right off, I'm going to say this. Let's see if you, while I'm talking, and while this tape recorder is running, the audio file that's recording right now, let's see if you hear gang stalk, oh my god, gang stalk, weird, suck my dick being said from a distance or close by. When I get done making this video, if it's caught on this tape recorder before I leave this area, it'll prove that I was telling the truth because I'm predicting it first. Now, if anybody appears within 150 to 200 feet outside of the entrance that's right over there, about 40 feet away, as I'm leaving this area, which I'll be doing within 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes after I complete this video, no matter how they act, no matter what transpires or doesn't, no matter what they say or don't, it will be connected to gang stalking. Now, this is a prediction video, and I apologize that you might think that this video seems peculiar or weird or whatever. Just bear with me and you'll understand why I'm making it. What I'm doing is I'm also taking a break while I'm making this video, so I'm going to finish smoking my cigarette and maybe take a drink of my juice. Now, my name is Leslie Williams. I'm a gang stalking victim in San Diego County, which is and I live in La Jolla, which is in San Diego County. I'm a good woman. I'm not involved in any illegal or criminal activity whatsoever. Hold on, let me take a puff off my cigarette before it goes out. I hate smoking on camera because it doesn't look very appealing. I'm also going to grab my sweatshirt because I'm getting a little cold, so just bear with me 1 second, okay? Now, what I'm going to do is make some statements in this video that's going to lead you to some evidence so you can see that my statements in this video are true. Because I'm going to look at you right now and I'm going to make a statement to you, and at first you might think it sounds peculiar, but just listen to the follow-up statements and you'll completely understand why I'm saying it. Does anybody, any human being that's got the ability to engage in common sense, believe that a tape recorder or the video camera or the video capability of your phone, okay, can have a mental illness? Just bear with me, you'll understand why I'm making this statement in a second. This is a physical, tangible object. Okay, it's an electronic. Let this train go by. Hold on a second. I'll put my sweatshirt on while it's going by. Just bear with me, trust me. You'll be glad you watched this video after you hear what I got to say. Trust me. I'm going to interrupt my statements just for a fast second to make a real fast prediction. If any San Diego park ranger approaches any physical area that I'm at in the next week and a half from this literal second forward, no matter where I'm at, on RR Colony 5 property, and I get arrested, forced to leave, ticketed, or a combination of all three, or any property stolen, I don't care how they act verbally, I don't care what they say, what excuse is used for the event concerning them being in my physical proximity or the physical proximity of my property. It will be nothing but gang stalking, period. So you can go to Google and type in park rangers and gang stalking of any state, North Carolina, Texas, Michigan, Florida, any state, but specifically California, and definitely specifically San Diego. Hold on a second. And I'm also including, go to Google and type in San Diego and police, okay, and gang stalking, which can also be investigated by researching organized stalking. Now, let me just check the beverage real fast, make sure I'm A-okay, which I already knew I was, but it's no harm in checking anyways. Now, the reason why I brought out this tape recorder and said, do you believe that an electronic device or a camera on a phone, do you believe that a physical, tangible object could have a mental disorder, is because I have caught indisputable evidence on my cell phone video, on my video camera that I'm literally speaking into right now, and on my tape recorder. Now, these are physical, tangible objects. They're not human beings that can have any type of mental symptomologies, mental disorders, or the symptomologies of any mental disorder. And the reason why I bring this up is because gang stalking targets victims and activists, okay, who are victims of this crime, can be put in county mental health, area neighborhood hospital psychiatric floors, or any other type of psychiatric detention, as a result of the police being involved in gang stalking and their subcontracted PERC teams, which are basically contracted psychologists that can work for and with any law enforcement of any state. Hold on. Including any psychologist teams that might work with any types of homeless rescue missions. Definitely including the San Diego Homeless Rescue Mission. Just stay with this video and I guarantee you will be glad that you did. Hold on a second though, I'm going to finish this cigarette up so I can just be done with it. Now when you go to Google and you type in, add Google. Now when I say gang stalking in this video and then I follow it up with a description like a method of theirs, a technique of theirs, a type of person used, a place that the gang stalking will happen at, what I want you to understand is that the best way to research this crime is to first investigate it by typing in organized stalking. I'm so used to saying gang stalking that it just immediately reflexatorily comes out of my mouth as gang stalking. But the best way to get the best research results is by typing in organized stalking. So if I say go to Google and type in gang stalking and police, go to Google and type in first organized stalking and police and research it, and then go thoroughly research it. And then go back to Google and type in gang stalking and police and look at what comes up. And then cross-reference all the material. Hold on. Do this at Google too. YouTube too. Now, I'm going to have to start talking fast in this video because I got a lot to do today. And I'm making this video before I leave this area for protection purposes and for prediction purposes. Let me go get my hand. Because my head's cold. Now, what I'm going to do right now is give you some directions concerning what you can do to investigate this crime. I'm going to build a foundation for you to build on, I'm laying out a foundation, and every statement will build that foundation up. I'm constructing to you right now how gang stalking operates, so you can investigate the descriptions to deconstruct what I'm verbalizing, what I'm stating, what I'm constructing, so you can see everything I'm saying is the truth. It's kind of like when you have an orange and you want to get to the innards, the actual orange. You gotta peel off the peeling. In order for you to see the truth of the gang stalking, you gotta hear these descriptions, which are the peelings, like the peelings of an orange. In order for you to get to the orange, researching the descriptions, you'll get to the truth, which is the orange. Do you understand? So, the descriptions are the peelings of the orange, and the orange is the research that comes up per description. So what I'm doing right now is proving to you that I'm being gang stalked in San Diego, California. And I have been from the very day that I arrived in San Diego since August 8, 2011. And today's date is May 17, 2015. I've been creatively, overtly, and directly harassed using gang stalking sensitization methods, dark neurolinguistic programming techniques, and the direct conversation method. I've also been assaulted five times. All 5 assaults have been predicted. Now, make sure, again, that you listen to everything that I'm stating, okay? What they do, go to Google and type in gang stalking creating homelessness of targets, okay? And look at what comes up. Also, when I verbalize these statements, look at the amount of Google-generated numeric responses that come up per description. Okay? When you got, say if you type in gang stalking and police, organized stalking and police, and you get thousands upon thousands and even millions of responses to some descriptions, do you really believe that that's an accident? Do you really believe that's because of people getting online and talking about what's happening to them because they suffer from mental illnesses? People that do not know each other describing the same exact, well, see, each target will experience a collage, okay, a mixture of different methods. A lot of the methods are the same towards every target, but each target might experience also some unique methods that are brought about against them. But in general, most of the techniques that are brought about against the target are the same. Okay, now what they're doing, one of the unique things that they're doing with me is propping up people to get along all my routes, including at my hiking areas, because I'm hiking in California. They made me homeless. Okay, so, and that's all over the internet, that's one of the main objectives of gang stalking, is to create the homelessness of a targeted individual. Just research it. Let that be, that is part of the foundation for you to build on. Okay, now when you research that, you'll be able to easily conclude that the homelessness of me was created by researching that, and then by adding what else I state to it. Because I'm going to actually enclose evidence in this video that's going to flat out show you to your face in your lap, indisputable, black and white, undeniable evidence that I'm being gang stalked. Okay? As a result, what I want you to do at the end of this video, once you, well, at the end of your research, is ask yourself then, why won't the San Diego Sheriff's Department, the California, the State Attorney General's Office, the District Attorney of San Diego, SDPD, or UCSD Police investigate the factual reality that I was being gang stalked? Because police are involved in gang stalking, that's why. Okay? So, Google gang stalking and police. So, what I'm doing right now is I'm going to continue to now explain to you descriptions concerning what's personally happening to me. They created the homelessness, and then I was gang stalked at my last apartment. The homelessness, the technique they used to create the homelessness was predicted by me in tape recorders, emails, blogs, and notaries. Okay? So go to Google and type in landlords and property owners in gang stalking, postal workers in gang stalking, mail theft and mail delayment of rent, which is how they created the homelessness of me. Okay, and they combined it with also working in collusion with landlord and property owner concerning the staged events and the staged harassment, the staged break-ins and everything that I endured in my last apartment. You can also go to Google. Hold on. Now you can also go to Google and type in gang stalking and motels, gang stalking and motel managers, gang stalking and even motel housekeepers. Just do it. Remember, if you type in and research every description, you will see everything I'm telling you is the truth. Now, I'm going to throw something out at you real fast for you to see right now in your face evidence that you can even look at while you're listening to me. Go to Google and type in UCSD and Law Library, are they networking gang stalking? That's a blog of mine. It's been hacked by the perpetrators, and they have put things in there that I did not put. So what you want to look at in this blog are the copied and pasted blogs from Michigan. You want to pay attention to what I'm stating concerning how I'm being harassed in San Diego and in Yucca Valley, California, and how that correlates to similar, extremely similar themed harassment that I endured in Michigan. Just do it. Then look at all the videos that I made in San Diego. Okay? In that blog, that's what you want to pay attention to. You want to pay attention to the tweets, the Instagrams, and the videos that I made and pasted in that blog, and the blogs URL links from the Michigan blogs. Do it. And you will indisputably see in your face, with your eyes and your ears, indisputable flat-out evidence that I'm factually being gang stalked. That's the purpose of this video, is to show you evidence, to explain how gang stalking operates, and to make some predictions concerning where I'm going today and why I'm going there, and what could transpire. So, go to that blog, research it, and you'll factually see I'm a gang stalking victim. Now, they create homelessness of targets by using a mixture of different techniques. Getting landlords and property owners on board, using mail theft and mail delayment when it's needed or necessary or tailored for that specific target. And then they create the homelessness, and they creatively, covertly keep it managed. I'm not going to go into those details right now, but let me just put it to you this way. You can go online right now and type in at Google how gang stalking victims have even been gang stalked for decades. You can go on Google and research how they've been, how the homelessness of a Target has been creatively, covertly managed for even over a decade. Okay? Now, I'm not going to explain to you in this video not really what the criminal motivation of why all this is occurring, because that information is within the blog that I told you about. If I get off into explaining that, it'll take up a huge amount of time in this video, and I ain't got time for that today. But I will make some statements. It's directly connected to human trafficking, illegal syndicated probate control for racketeering, insurance fraud, and human trafficking. By using the homelessness to get the illegal syndicated probate control, and by trying to claim that the Target can't take care of themselves because they're homeless, and that they think they're being stalked by people they don't know. They then diagnose you with mental disorders you don't have, and then use this in conjunction with the homelessness to get the illegal syndicated probate control so they can apply for federal, state, and local funds and insurance in the Target's name after they're put in a syndicated run, organized crime group home that literally perpetrates gang stalking. And human trafficking and voyeurism also happen to the Target in these homes, and the gang stalking continues towards the Target in these homes. Privately owned detention centers and jails are also one of the criminal motivations, because they can apply for federal, state, and local funds for that privately owned detention center. Racketeering, they're treating the individuals like straw people to make money. Now, so what I'm going to do today is I'm literally leaving this area that I was camping at for a few days. I left a place, I call this property RR Colony 5. Now, that's a code notation that I use to accurately describe the property. Now, each spot within this property is given an additional added feature within that code. Like, the original spot that I was camping at was called RR Colony 5. This spot was called RR Colony 5-1D, or D1, whatever. Okay? The place I'm getting ready to go to now is going to be called RR Colony 5-E, either -E or -E1. Now, everywhere I go, every single day, what they're doing towards me, and have been since at least 2012, and I got over 1,000 audio files to prove it. That's why I talked about my tape recorder having a mental illness. What they're doing is propping people up along all my routes every day and having them repeat, gang stalk, weird, gang stalking, crazy, gang stalking, oh my god, gang stalk, oh my god, gang stalk, gang stalker, oh my god, weird, crazy, suck my dick, back to back in that way. And tape recorders don't lie. Now, if you go to that blog, you'll see evidence, indisputable evidence of it happening around me everywhere I go, every day. And those 80 videos that are in that blog are not even 0.001% of the evidence I have. Okay? Now, the only way that they can achieve and prop up all this identical verbal harassment, which is extremely peculiar, which even includes the name of the crime that's happening to me, okay, is that they gotta know where I'm at in real time at all times. Think about this. 1,000 audio files at least of this happening around me every day, everywhere I go, sometimes non-stop. Okay? Non-stop. So go to Google right now and type in I'm going to give you my Twitter address. Go to Google right now and type in the following word: exposing truth, space, okay? And you know the @ that's put in your email accounts, like yahoo@email.com or whatever, the @ on your keyboard. So type in at Google search box, exposing truth, space, the @ Higgins, Higgins, GGGG, 4 G's, and the word Higgins with an S. Higgins, GGGGG, okay, preceded by the @. That's my Twitter account. Go into the Twitter account and then research the tweets. You can click on the tweets that I made to scroll back through the dates of when the prior tweets were posted, and look at what was posted on the night of May 10th up through the night of May 16th, 2015. And you're going to see indisputable evidence, recent evidence. And the November 10th tweet was concerning the evidence being caught at this area. Okay? So do what I tell you to do, and you'll indisputably see I'm being gang stalked, and how. Now, as a result of the massive verbal gang stalking that occurred towards me here yesterday, I haven't even been here 5 days. I've decided to move again. They propped up individuals yesterday to get over there, right behind those bushes, to get over there behind these bushes, and to get right over there, within 50 feet of the... See, once you walk out of here, about 35, 40 feet from my finger is the exit of the spot. They were propping up people yesterday specifically a young man, to stand 40 feet away from that exit. And he stood there acting like he was on his phone. And while he was talking, he stood there for over 25 minutes. He said gang stalk. It was caught on my tape recorder. It was caught probably on video as well, because other people that were also in the area were saying it. Okay? Now, that's very close to home. Now, whether that was done to psychologically induce fear that I would get caught camping. Okay? It's also done to keep me mentally preoccupied with the fact that I could get caught camping because of how close they came. And it was the reason why they did it. Okay? Now, before they stole my rent in my last apartment, every day and night, I made videos about this in 2013 and 14. What they did at my apartment complex was stand close outside my door of the hallway and make dark neurolinguistic program. They would execute dark neurolinguistic programming techniques. So, why don't you get out? What's her problem? Why don't you get her out of here? Why don't you kick her out of here? Are you going to use the landlord to evict her? Shit like that. That was done for me to hear it, so I would wonder what's going on. What's happening. These are called gaslighting techniques of gang stalking. So if you review those tweets that I just made between November 10th and May 10th and May 16th of 2015, you'll clearly see that they're doing this to me here. Now, I'm talking about what they did to me in an apartment in Michigan. I got the notaries to prove it, the email files to prove it, the audio files to prove it, and the video files to prove that that's what they were doing to me in Michigan. Now, one of the last hiking areas that I was at, that went by a code notation called GILL times 2. I'm a woman, not a man. HA location. See, I gotta hide the name of the geographical location that I'm staying at, because when I include it in my videos, if I state where I'm staying at, okay, the police can say, well, we stumbled across your video and we know where you're at, and so we decided to come and get you for illegal lodging. And remember, the police are involved in gang stalking. Absolutely. Or they can forward a video to the police and act like a concerned citizen by saying, we believe this woman's mentally ill, we saw her video online. They forward it to the police, and then the police come looking for me. That's why I can't enclose the actual physical name of the actual location. Okay. Also, by using a code and then combining it with predictions about what they might do, and then if they do it, it'll show I was stalked to the very area, because the code accurately describes the location. I also leave my mark on nearby trees. Okay? Now just bear with me and you'll see I'm telling you the truth. Now, right before they initiate the open gang stalking of you, they will take a psychological profile of you and get to know how you think, feel, whatever traumas you might have experienced in the past, whatever. And what they did in Michigan was use a group of people from a church to get me to open up about things that had bothered me talking, and so I opened up to them and talked to them about some past abuse I experienced from my family and how they kicked me out at times and what I suffered because of it. So what they did was they tailored a terror campaign along those lines, using homelessness, the threats of homelessness, the threats of being caught now camping and arrested. So I'm going to give you now in closing, and then I'm going to make my predictions, and then I got to go. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to just, trust me, if you do what I say to do, you will see that every single syllable that just came, literally, especially the ones that literally just came out of my mouth, are the absolute truth. Because I want you to listen to what I'm saying here. Go to Google, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to spit out to you right now some names of some YouTube accounts. Okay? These names are as follows. When I point my finger, that means one name is ended, and I'm getting ready to start the next name. Exposing Police 1. Okay? Exposing San Diego. Exposing SDPD 1. Exposing SDPD 2. Exposing SDPD 3. Assault MTS. Gang stalking activist. Let's see, what else is there? That's enough for now. Okay. So, what you want to do is you want to look in these YouTube accounts and go back and look at the videos that were made in 2013 when I was hiking off of Gilman Road in Gilman Court. GILL times 2. Gilman Road, Gilman Court. I'm a woman, not a man. Gilman. Do you see how it accurately describes the location? Now that's what I was saying in the videos, that I'm at GILL times 2. I'm a woman, not a man. GILL times 2. Gilman Court, Gilman Road. I'm a woman, not a man. Man. Gilman. Okay? Now, Look at my videos concerning how I stated I was being harassed at the location. That they were propping homeless men up to camp close by who were constantly yelling, gang stalk, oh my god, gang stalk weird, gang stalk crazy, gang stalk, why don't you come and steal her stuff? A threat while they're saying gang stalk. Gang stalk, why don't you call the cops and get her out of here? A threat while they're saying gang stalk. I also made notations in these videos I made every single day about how they were also propping people up on the sidewalk as they jogged by, walked by, or rode their bikes by, and had them say the same exact thing. And in some of these videos, I stated that they got two separate UCSD students on 2 separate dates to say the same exact identical thing at UCSD Price Center, which is a building on UCSD property, except they didn't say gang stalk, why don't you go and steal her stuff? They said gang stalk, why don't you come and steal her stuff? Threats while they're saying gang stalk. Now, when you go to that blog, UCSD and Law Library, you're going to witness some videos concerning a Thanksgiving event that happened 1 month and a few days before the end of the year 2013. The Thanksgiving event clearly shows 2 men directly to my face, right to my face, physically right in my physical presence, as close to me as this video camera is right now, literally threatening me with a threat to kick my ass while they're saying gang stalk. Now, those YouTube videos were already published all over the internet throughout the entire year 2013 before this event was caught on a tape recorder, and tape recorders reflect the date and the time. Now, the Michigan blogs clearly show me state that they're threatening me outside my door, okay, by repeating, oh my god, why don't you get her out of here? Oh my god, why don't you call the cops on her? Now, the Thanksgiving event, okay, also shows them saying gang stalk and threatening to kick my ass, a threat while they're saying gang stalk, but it also shows them saying, oh my god. The same exact technique that's being used on me in San Diego is the same exact technique that was used on me in Michigan. So, they're gang stalking me along all my routes, repeating these words and phrases everywhere I go, every single day. Follow my instructions in this video and you'll see I'm telling you the truth. Okay? And so you'll be able to see that I'm a victim of interstate stalking and non-stop harassment, non-stop psychological induced duress, criminal intent to harass, stalking, tracking, conspiracy to harass, you name it. Okay? These are all felonies. Okay? Now, so what you want to do is make sure you follow my instructions in this video. This video is being made for people who you might not have time to research everything in 1 day or even 1 week. Just go back to it. Cross-reference the information that comes up and you'll see I'm telling you the truth. I've been assaulted, sexually assaulted too, physically assaulted, okay, robbed, been used for insurance fraud, okay, in Michigan. I've been made homeless on and off since 2006 because of gang stalking. My complete life has been totally destroyed from every angle, from credit. They coerced me to take out school loans. Department of Education won't investigate it at all. The San Diego police have denied my right to make a police report on anywhere between 1 and 29 times. 2 police officers per occasion, and they've even been shown evidence. They denied it was evidence. Now remember what I said. Are San Diego park rangers involved in gang stalking? Google it. How many targets are online right now exposing park rangers in gang stalking? Especially San Diego park rangers in gang stalking. How many people are online right now exposing the San Diego Fire Department and the San Diego Police and the San Diego Sheriff's Department in gang stalking, as well as any other law enforcement that's in the state of California? Like, you can go to Google right now and type in stoporgangstalking.com. The woman in that blog, she's identifying SDSD, STPD. I think maybe in one of her older posts in that blog, she identified UCSD gang stalking. Okay, lifeguards, fire department, and I don't know if park rangers are in there, but I think they are. I'm not sure. So, the point being is through the illegal tracking of a target, including using our own cell phones, they prop up staged events. They're called street theaters and gang stalking expeditions. Now, the area I'm going to today, I have already dropped property off there. They know it through the GPS tracking of my cell phone. Now, I've already caught evidence here, indisputably. The evidence I caught last night, I haven't had a chance to upload it yet. Okay? I'm sorry. I just uploaded some audio evidence to my video camera yesterday concerning it happening towards me in Ross Grocery Store off of La Jolla Village Square on the 14th, and today's the 17th. The morning of the 17th is now the afternoon. Okay? And Ross is right at the street. It's right at the street where it happened at, again. Okay, and they're in the blog too. as well as a second rouse. Okay? The point being is that through the GPS tracking of a target, so how do you think that they're able to place all this verbal harassment, which is identical everywhere I go every day? Think about that. Okay? I also predict, like right now I'm predicting what's going to happen to me today. If it doesn't happen, great, but it eventually will. But here's the thing. All throughout the entire year of 2012, 13, 14, and even 15, I make prediction statements in my tape recorder every day. I say, let's see if I hear gang stalk, oh my god, gang stalk weird, suck my dick, being repeatedly said around me, or even just once. And then it's caught after the prediction is made. It'll show that I was stalked to the area where the, either where the prediction was made, or from where the prediction was made. Okay? Now that shows illegal tracking. Okay? Absolutely. 98% of every single evidence, audio file, video file that I have, that evidence was predicted in separate environments before I left the area where the prediction was made concerning where the evidence was caught. In other words, the evidence was caught in a separate place later on in the day from the area where the prediction was made earlier in the day. And these tape recorders run by date and time. It shows I was tracked and surveilled to these places where the propped up harassment occurred, which shows tracking. So, when you got over 1,000 audio files, at least, and video files of the same identical verbal peculiar harassment, identical to a T, being executed around me every day, everywhere I go, it indisputably says to anybody that can process common sense that I'm being tracked in real time at all times. And since this evidence goes all the way back to 2012, every single day, it shows I'm being stalked from place to place to place to place, including my hiking areas, including places that I have dropped property off at but have never used as hiking areas that will be used as emergency places, like where I'm going today. So if I go there today and there's any homeless men there and or women, what I'm going to be doing is going there and I'm going to be dropping off a first load. Once it's dropped off and hidden, I'm then going to be coming back to here to pick up a second load. And then leaving here, taking it back to there, and then settling in for the night. If there's any homeless men there or arrive at the scene towards me in the next week from this little second forward, that's why I showed the video picture on my cell phone at the beginning of this video, it'll be directly connected to gang stalking, whether they're there before I arrive or not, on their first or second trip, or arrive after I'm there for good, for the day. See, because in gang stalking, what they want to try and do is steer you to an isolated wooded area where there's no neighbors close by that can hear you scream. And they know I've already dropped property off at these spots due to the previous GPS tracking of me on those particular days. And each one of those days, gang stalking was caught after I left the area, and more than likely even before I arrived at the area, all depending on what I did that morning before I went there. Okay, so think about this. If I wake up in the morning and I pack up a bunch of shit at one spot, and I take it to this area and I drop it off, and then I leave that area and I go to Rouse, I go to CVS, I go to the bus stop, and then I get on the bus, and then I go to a movie theater or wherever I went for the remaining time of that day, and it was caught. They knew then when I left that area where that property was dropped off at, in order to place the harassment around me. If they're able to deduce that, then I'm being tracked in real time, which means they knew where I dropped the property off at. Which means that they're writing down this information and saying, okay, they know where I'm at now. They see when I move from here, because I'll be mobile, just like when you got that star feature in trucks, vans, and cars that can GPS your coordinates in case you need directions. Same concept. So go to Google and YouTube and type in GPS cell phone tracking and gang stalking. So this is how they're able to prop up the harassment I endure and prop up people to be at spots that they're just deducing that I'm going to as a result of physical observation from a distance even, and the GPS tracking of my phone. That way they can say, well, Leslie, how can they be gang stalking you? They were here before you got here. Bullshit. Okay? Gang stalking has been caught by being said by people in restaurants and movie theaters that work at these places before I even arrived, which means that they were there before I got there. Their voices flat out caught, like at Arby's, Jack in the Box, movie theaters, restaurants, post offices, banks, grocery stores. These employees were already there before I arrived, yet they're caught on my tape recorder saying it. Okay, so somebody notified them as a result of them knowing that I was there. So Google businesses and gang stalking. All right, hold on. So, let me just wait until these skanks go by. And the reason why I say skanks is because fire department personnel can be involved in gang stalking. Google that. Alright, so I'm gonna let these monkeys go by before I continue my statement. And then I gotta get a move on because it's getting late. No. I gotta make 2 trips concerning where I'm going. First trip, I gotta drop stuff off. If there's somebody there, then I gotta take time out of my schedule to find a second spot. Once that second spot is obtained, I'll drop the property off and then come back here and get the other property. If there's anybody up in here that prevents me to get this second property, I gotta wait until they leave. Their goal is to fuck me over any way and every way they can by using normal environments that can be easily excused of why there are people in the area, including homeless men, students, kids, teenagers, adults, or a combination of all. And that includes them being in the area, the immediate area where the entrance and exit is, this area, or the entrance or exit of the areas I'm going to, and the areas themselves that I'm going to. Hold on. See, gang stalking is a crime that's extremely hard to prove because they do it through the illegal tracking of you, the illegal surveillance of you. And then since the police are involved, they completely ignore your evidence. When you witness that evidence in that blog that I've shown you, some of that evidence was flat out directly shown to a San Diego police officers. 6 of them at least. Okay? 2 of them twice, so that makes up 4. Okay? These 2 that were shown it twice, okay, denied that it was evidence. They claimed they couldn't accurately hear what was being said. In fact, they tried to say that it was Spanish being said. Fucking creepy ass liars. Okay. The point being is that once they admit on a police report that I'm being gang stalked, that leaves all the places that have been used in the gang stalking of me, like Ross Grocery Store, UCSD, SDSU, USD, my bank, post offices, restaurants, movie theaters. It leaves me the ability to prove on a police report that I'm factually being gang stalked, which brings alive the entire campaign, which means I can hold every single one of these places that have been involved in the gang stalking of me legally culpable. They can be sued. Now, when you look at the connection between businesses and gang stalking, universities and gang stalking, public libraries and gang stalking, any business that you can think of, okay, property owners and gang stalking, postal workers and gang stalking, and then the police and gang stalking, fit it together. They're all involved in it. So do you really think one's going to make a police report concerning it? No. So now what they're doing is arresting me and ticketing me for illegal lodging, camping. By propping up staged events, staged complaints, staged witnesses of people seeing me coming and going, or psychologically forcing me to move by non-stop bombarding me with harassment and fear campaigns that I'll be seen camping and the police will be called because of it, by propping people up at entrances and exits, or literally having them come up in my physical possession, or bringing up homeless men, punks, or criminals to assault me at the hiking area, believing that will psychologically motivate me to call the police. And they intentionally, mentally let you know that those people are in your physical presence intentionally because of gang stalking by having one of them engage in a gang stalking physical gesture that you've been sensitized to. Google that. In fact, you can go to YouTube right now and type in "learning disabled woman catches gang stalkers admitting sent to harass, read comments." I caught 3 teenagers admitting they were put in my physical presence to engage in physical gestures. Sensitization methods. Hold on. So what I do, and what I continue to do, is predict what these filthy red-ass whores are going to do before they do it. Before I even leave an environment where the prediction's made, which I can prove where I'm at. Absolutely. You see that area? Right there? I also have an engravement in a nearby tree. Okay? Now, when I leave this area and go to any selected area in the next 30 days, if I'm arrested for illegal lodging, if any of my property is stolen or damaged or confiscated, it'll be directly connected to gang stalking. If I'm robbed, raped, if any bad thing happens to me, my bike, if any law enforcement tries to claim that they stumbled across me, noticed my bike, and then try to imply that my bike was noticed at another location on a previous date, it'll be all set up as a result of being tracked to these locations and them using normal appearing excuses for knowing why I'm there. And this is how they operate, and that's why I predict what I do. Now, in closing, go to Google right now and Amazon On February, on Valentine's Day 2013, I was in my tent at a different location. GILL times 2. I'm a woman, not a man, HE location. And it was at night, it was around 10 o'clock, and I was listening to Coast AM national radio show. You can Google that. Coast to Coast AM. Hold on. And I was listening to it. And I had no idea that gang stalking, organized stalking, was going to be covered on the show that night. I've been on national radio shows. Yes, you'll see it on the blog when you go to it. I've been on Ground Zero with Clyde Lewis on multiple occasions. So just Google it. Now, Google the blog's title. That way I ain't got to explain to you about how to get to Ground Zero, Clyde Lewis's archive shows. Hold on. Now, what was I saying? What was I talking? Oh, yeah. So on Valentine's Day 2013, Mike Fitzhugh-Bell, his name is Michael Fitzhugh-Bell. I think his middle name is spelled Fitzhugh. Mike Fitzhugh-Bell. Michael Fitzhugh-Bell. He was on Coast to Coast AM national radio show on Valentine's Day 2013. He was exposing how he, in California, being gang stalked, and how he was gang stalked from California to North Carolina, and then even to another country. So you could probably go back and listen to that archive show if you research it enough. It's called Coast to Coast AM, The Invisible Crime, was the title of the show. Now the reason why I'm bringing this up, pay close attention. Because I was in my tent, and I was going to bed, I was preparing to go to bed that night, and I was listening to my small radio. And I was listening to Coast to Coast, and I heard it coming on, and George Norrie said, we're covering tonight electronic harassment, and we're going to bring on an individual, Roger Tulsis and Mike Fitzhugh-Bell. So I decided to listen to it. Mike Fitzhugh-Bell started talking about how he's a victim of organized stalking and electronic harassment. Now, as he's talking about this for, I think, at least 2 hours on the show, he discloses in the radio show that he wrote a book concerning his experiences. The book is titled The Invisible Crime. Now, you can buy this book. I think it's only, I think it's under $20 on Amazon. You could probably order it through Barnes & Nobles as well. Now, his gang stalking started in California, I think in Beverly Hills. Now, so I, as a result of hearing it, I thought, well, I'm going to order the book. It's at a different hiking area right now. So I order the book from Barnes & Nobles, I get it, I start reading it, and guess what's in the book? It shows him literally flat out stating that what you can do to prove that you're a victim of this crime is getting a tape recorder and a camera and predicting what these little rats are going to do before they do it, and then catching them in the act of doing what you predict. I was already doing that. Okay? And it shows that another targeted individual is using the same concept. And others are as well too. I've noticed it a few times on YouTube. Okay? Now, fellow American citizens, I mentioned briefly what the criminal motivations are for me in this campaign and what they're going to do. They know I got all these audio files. Hold on. So what they're going to do is they're going to come after me before I can find a lawyer. Okay? Before I can find a law firm. Because they know that I got this fucking evidence. You better believe they know it because they're the assholes that propped all of all the verbal harassment, which is the evidence along my routes. So what they're going to do is start arresting me for illegal lodging. And when I'm in jail, they're going to start going through my shit, taking my money, my cell phones, my food stamp card. I get $19 a month. My evidence, my cameras, okay? And my bus pass, my social security card, everything and anything that I use to stay independent. Okay? And right now they're targeting my social security? And I wouldn't be doubted at all if they're not going to try and target my social services. I've already caught them literally engaging in a method that was designed to keep me off of food stamps back in 2012. They were literally flat out caught in the act. It was caught on tape. Hold on. See, because the human trafficker person, you got to take away everything they got. They first make you homeless, exploit the homelessness to exploit you, and then take away everything you got, your evidence, and everything you got to sustain yourself. Your tents, your tarps, your clothes, your camping gear. Okay, and then they go after the money and the evidence. Okay, this is what they do. Okay, so what I'm doing is exposing that I'm a human trafficking target, and my name is Leslie Williams. The San Diego DA's office was notified by me in email. Okay, you can find one of the copies of the emails by going to Google and typing in "Learning Disabled Woman, a Truth Soldier." It's a website. that shows a bunch of different targeted individuals post on this one website. If you scroll down towards the bottom or the middle of that website, you'll see that email that I sent to the San Diego DA's office showing me, it'll show you that I contacted them through an email stating that I'm a human trafficking target. And the fucking bitch, Bonnie Damascus, who's the San Diego DA's, she didn't do a damn thing. Okay, I've contacted the FBI, Homeland Security, California Attorney General's office that I'm a human trafficking target. Never got one reply from any of them. Not one reply. So go to YouTube and type in similarities between gang stalking and human trafficking. They're criminals. It's organized crime in the system. At the federal, state, and local level. So, I'm getting ready to leave here. This is our Colony 5-1D. I'm going to a place that I'm going to name our Colony 5-E or -E1. And I'm going to be making statements in my tape recorder on my routes to there. If anybody appears at the exit of this place, the immediate exit of this place, and then when I walk out of here, I got to walk around and go to another exit to get on the road that will take me to where I got to go. If anybody appears or walks by me at both of those exits, and then the entrance of the place I'm going to, and then when I drop the property off there and then exit it to come back and get the second load, if anybody approaches me here while I'm re-entering this area, and then leaving it again, and then that second exit to get me back on the road, and then the entrance of the place where I'm going to drop the second load off at, it'll be nothing but gang stalking. So basically I'm saying, hold on. Let me check the minutes on this video. Okay, I'm getting very close to being my 50-minute time limit. So what I'm saying is that if they prop up any individuals, because Bonnie right now is being gang stalked in Oceanside. Go to YouTube and type in Bonnie, Oceanside, California, or CA, gang stalking. You'll see that they sensitized her to the color red. It's called color harassment. I did not develop their techniques. I'm only exposing them. Okay, so you can Google color harassment and gang stalking and sensitization. Okay, and see what they're doing to her. She's exposing all over YouTube and her blog that she's being bombarded, constantly presented with the color red, which is a creative way to let her know she's being gang stalked because of how often she sees the red everywhere she goes. It's what they do. I'm not responsible for what the perpetrators do to another target and what they're doing to other. They're doing the same thing to other targets as well. That's why this method is all over the internet, to be a identified method of gang stalking. Okay, so basically what they'll do is sensitize you to words, phrases, physical gestures, sounds, colors, certain types of people like punks, homeless men who act like punks or criminals. They'll even use alcoholics so they can say that the event transpired because you shouldn't have been in the area to begin with, and because they're a known criminal or a known troublemaker or a known punk. Anything but gang stalking. Okay? And if I go to any other area where I got property dropped off at, and there's homeless men or women, okay, there at those areas, that'll be done to psychologically influence me to not retrieve my property. We're going to see if they're there and they got my property, and or we're going to see if the property's stolen. Because they're starting to steal my camping property now, and I'm talking about hundreds of dollars worth. Because they just believe, what are you going to do? Call the police and report it? You got to then prove why it was there. The police won't investigate it because they're directly connected to it. Absolutely. Okay? This is how they're able to get away with all this shit. They make you homeless. You got to then go camping. Okay? They then start arresting you for illegal lodging instead of investigating the gang stalking that created the homelessness. And they figure, what are you going to do? Call the police about your stuff being stolen? If you do, then you're disclosing where you're camping at. It's almost the perfect crime. And they count on it. It's how they're able to get away with all of it. Okay, so that's why I predict what these whores are going to do. You would not believe the money I went through in camping gear and things they've stolen. You just would not believe it. They're criminal whores.